Very low.
Tapping Vice President Pence to head up the administration's coronavirus response.
In Georgia. A lot to talk about as we continue our rolling coverage. I want to welcome you back to NBC News coverage of the siege at the U.S. Capitol. Right now, police in Washington enforcing a curfew, driving rioters through the streets of Capitol grounds.
The topics I felt were relevant for performance exploration were racial injustice, immigration, the pandemic, and gun violence. As we began in mid-December, we used mind mapping to generate ideas and explore our options. Students researched images of social unrest during the past year and created a number of tableaus based on Bible verses and images from their research. During this initial phase of the project, there seemed to be a lack of buy-in from my students. They were working very hard, as always, and creating some excellent work, but there was not the excitement and passion in their eyes that I recognized.
Oh, that's a good one. I know. Immigration's still behind. Is that L? O. They're at M. No stealing from other groups. Racial injustice. Oh, Caitlin's left-handed. I didn't know that.
Anthony's left-handed.
Anthony's left-handed. Matt. What did Matt do? Race.
So some kind of interesting stuff. It was really fun to do, I gotta say. Some silliness, but some really great ideas came up through each of the 4 topics, which I thought was pretty cool. They kind of ran out of some ideas towards the end, especially with like yoinks and zoink, yikes, and things like that. But all in all, very successful. Thanks. See ya.
So, at least for me, I never took the time to research. I just sort of got all the information secondhand, like if the news was on or now. But now I'm like actively researching it, which is pretty much widened my perspective of like what's going on with the world.
You know, there's this famous Christian author who said that, or who wrote that when a society begins to forget the basics, that society will begin to fall apart. Yeah, obviously it's arrogant to say that Christian beliefs are the basics, so I'm not going to say that. But I think it's worth acknowledging that most of the human beings you come across agree on the basic good, evil, love. It's important to treat each other with respect, be patient, wait your turn, be kind, things like that. Those basics, right? And the Bible highlights those basics.
So for the first question, how making a device piece has affected my view on how the national divide has affected our community is just hearing everybody's like perspective on how this whole year and last year, how it affected everybody, and how some of the things I was feeling I'm not alone in, and that like a lot of people were feeling that way, and also just a bunch of different perspectives about how this national divide has affected our country.
For me, like Caitlin said, I think it's definitely like enforced that idea of just how big like the divide is for so many different things, big and small, especially in Utah because we are a religious state, and especially because we don't like technically have technically we do, but we don't have a divide between church and state, and not having one divide can create divides in separate areas, if that makes sense.
We can create change in like our school climate. That's facts. We can do that. I mean, I don't really think that we're going to save the world or the city or the county, but I mean, in our own school environment, I just did that off top. We can definitely help. You know, if there's something like inequality going on, or there's, you know, people being mean to people because they think whatever. I think that, you know, as a class and as people who attend the school, then that's an area we actually can improve and work on and try to change. So yeah, I just kind of answered my own question there.
Following the holiday break, we discussed our options in choosing just one area to focus on. That was January 5th, 2021. We did not have class on the 6th, but when we gathered again on the 7th, my students were energized about the insurrection that had taken place on the Capitol the previous day. This event shifted everything for my performers and my project. They had an energy that was not present when we began our devising journey. With the insurrection and presidential inauguration as inspiration, I witnessed my students' creative energy take flight. The company's focus had taken a drastic shift and landed on the national divide occurring in our country due to these current events.
But who are you to judge your neighbor?
Never again.
My right to protect.
My body, my choice.
A child's body, not our choice.
Never again! My right to protect! My body, my choice! A child's body, not our choice! Free speech, not hate speech! Facts don't care about your feelings! Black lives matter! All lives matter! Let them in! Build a wall! Raise minimum wage! Keep the market free! Support Palestinian rights! Support our Israeli allies! Listen! 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 Listen!
One.
50 states in one.
I lost my house.
My business. My job.
My school.
50 states in one.
I lost my house.
My business.
My job.
My school.
Myself.
An infection.
Of the society.
Soul.
Body.
Mind.
A government for the people.
A government of the people.
Collectively we strike, yet they turn away.
We are told to come together to give hope.
But how are we to give hope when there's no hope left to give? I feel exhausted.
Sad.
Angry. Overworked.
Depressed.
When will it all end? A broken system cutting us and shedding our blood.
A year of oppression, isolation, and hate. United we stand, divided we fall. 50 states in one.
Fought for this nation together. Fought against slavery.
The towers fell.
Women and men fighting together.
Fought world wars and civil wars.
Protests, unions, and boycotts.
All in the name of growth.
The drafts.
The yellow letters.
Americans of different generations and origins have been here before.
And yet we've made it this far and won't be stopped. United we stand, divided we fall.
Through rough and stormy weather,
Love and hope have shined through.
We still live, and so do you.
This has been a year of great sadness,
but also a year of hope.
A year of freedom, community, and love.
Some of the challenges we faced during devising was composing text for the pieces and staging the scenes. Additionally, students were saturated with multiple projects, including Juan Diego's musical, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. These commitments, coupled with COVID-19 quarantine issues, made it challenging to be consistent in our rehearsal process. We also faced scheduling issues with our initial performance dates in early February.